Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like this video, share this video, call your mama and your grandma, call all your people in Mississippi because I need them to confirm for you everything I'm about to tell you. Hmm. Well, thank you for the gifts already. I just got in the house. Thank you. Thank y'all. Like this video, share this video, subscribe. Um, I'm sorry, I'm kind of late and I'm on this phone, but it's either this or nothing. Tonight. It's this or nothing. I'm getting ready, you guys. What up, though? Detroit in the house. I'm on my way to North Carolina in another day or two, so I'm just trying to get all that sketch situated. So I do want to remind everybody that Zyx Institute. Shout out to my moderators. I don't know who is in the chat so far. But if one of you guys, if there's somebody in here that can you please get the link from Zyx Institute and put it in the chat? Um, you guys can go over to the community section as well and get the link for the information. But we have our second location. We are enrolling in Kinston, North Carolina as we speak, right? So as this year begins, we're ready to go. We got greenhouses, we got everything, we got the whole school ready to go. So this is where I'm going to go, but I need you guys to go ahead and look it up for those of y'all that keep emailing me or asking me about the information. Zeiss is accredited school at this point. You can enroll your kids all across this nation. They are enrolling right now. Your tuition is based on your income. So there are programs for everybody that if you can't pay, it's okay. You're going to still get paid and be able to function in the school, right? So if you were in there before and the tuition, although you never turn nobody away, but you're like, I can't afford this. Yes, you can, okay? So if you want to put your kids back in Zeiss, if you never went to Zeiss because you were thinking about that, and if you are in the North Carolina area, know that we have an actual school you can bring your kids in. And of course, North Carolina is going to get some things that our Brooklyn location does not get because we have two locations now, you guys, okay? Um, but in the Brooklyn location, there's a lot going on there too. But when you get to the North Carolina one, we have a greenhouse and all kind of great stuff, right? So y'all come check us out. I will give y'all more information. Just stay tuned in the community section and in your emails because I leave Friday. I don't know. I'll be leaving my house so much. I'm tired of leaving. And I'll be here for 10 whole days. So we have lots scheduled in those days, and I will give you guys the updated information for that soon. Okay. So just stay tuned for that. Again, if you are in the area, we are definitely looking for people to volunteer and help us canvass the community to let them know that the school is there and opening. We are looking for people to help us paint. Now, of course, know how to paint, okay? And we are going to be doing some landscaping. So all of that type of stuff, cleaning up the greenhouse, we could definitely use some help. Support from the community doesn't always come in financial donations, although that's great, right? But we can use the manpower and help. So come out and like pay some shit with me. Let's, I ain't gonna say pick up trash because ain't no trash in front of our school. We not Umar Johnson. We don't need you to clean the bathrooms now. They already clean. But if y'all want to come through, if you want to take a look at the school, you just want to come through and see what's going on. Some of you have supported, like, come and see what we have grown to in all of these years, okay? So y'all stay tuned for that information. Thank you for the gifts, and I want to say thank you for the gifts in advance, okay? Um, because in tonight's conversation, I may not be stopping to say thank you every time I see a gift, but I see them and I want to say thank you in advance, you guys. I will get to all the super chats so that I can address what it said. Thank you, Danielle, for the super chat. You said you don't know if I got your email. I don't know when you sent the email. Um, but Danielle, I got your name, so I will go and search it and look it up. Somebody said they want to come through. Well, come on through then. Come on through. We want to come through. So I'm gonna give everybody the address and the information. I'll get all of that to y'all soon. I think if you go over to the link on the site, it'll probably tell you what that is anyway. Um, oh my damn, I got this shit. I'm on this motherfucking but anyway, we got something to talk about tonight. I know somebody said that somebody else talked about this topic. So I'm gonna get straight into the point that we want to discuss this evening and not take too much from that. I'm gonna try not to talk to the dumbasses in the chat, but I will tell you guys, I'm probably going to have a special show. We're gonna do that on Facebook because I have several audiences, and I notice when I post stuff on Facebook, um, the white people be on Facebook, they be coming out the droves and they be so mad. So I think I'm gonna go live on Facebook tomorrow, and that will be allowed to drop the link only for white people. Like y'all, I have lived to do this with white folks. Like I'm tired of arguing with black folks and fighting black folks. So on Facebook, it's funny. On Instagram, my comment sections are full of black people. I go over to Facebook and they're all telling me how racist I am, and they got all these little microaggressions. And so, yeah, click the link and tell me all about it. We're probably gonna do that on tomorrow. But the story that keeps going around, there's a lot of white people who live in white privilege and in the ignorance of that they don't have to understand all these things going on. One of the things that I thought is hilarious that I have watched tons of white people say to me is, oh yeah, y'all shouldn't go hang out and be the black person in a room with a whole bunch of white people because this just seems to happen all the time, right? All the time. And they're saying it to be joking. But I want to tell any ignorant person that is white in the chat, because y'all tend to love to tell me I'm ignorant, I don't know. For any ignorant white person, I find that amazing when y'all make that comment, because you know why? This absolutely has happened a lot. Absolutely. We can name plenty of cases where black people have been the only black person. They're with a bunch of white people. Shit, we can even talk about adults, right? How many of y'all remember the black lady that went to the adult slumber party? She's the only black person there. It's a bunch of women, stayed at a house. No husbands were supposed to be there, but somehow several of the white women's husbands showed up. The black lady was found dead in the yard the next day, and they said it was no suspicious activity, and she died of like unknown causes. Are you fucking serious? Somebody said her name is Tamala. Okay, a couple people said that. So Tamala. So I could keep going though. This is not the only goddamn case. We have a boy that was here in Georgia playing with some little kids that are like, what, 13, 14 years old, and they ended up drowning that boy, and adult parents helped them cover it up. So y'all gonna stop playing with me, okay? So if white people want to have this conversation with me, because y'all come in my chat over here too and say, oh, you're racist, you're this and you're that. Like, come over here and say something more than that, because obviously y'all are not educated on this topic, and you should be educated, because the only motherfucker here ignorant on this topic seems to be those that live in white privilege and don't even know that this stuff happens. Okay? So let's be clear about that. But a lot of people are talking about Nolan's case. There are some things that have come out today. But one thing that has come out a couple of days ago is the medical examiner, the chief medical examiner for Mississippi. Her name is Stacy Turner, okay? And I would have loved to have this on the computer and just pull up all these things. But at the same time, I kind of want y'all to do your own research. I feel like we are lazy in figuring out what the fuck be going on, because all of the things I'm getting ready to connect the dots for you, I'm going to tell you some stuff you ain't heard online, right? And if people just paid attention, we will be able to connect these dots. So before I say this, I want y'all to remember that you have got to stop living like the racism that we hear about from so-called back in the day, that ain't that far back in the day, as though that stuff does not exist anymore. Y'all got to stop doing that first and foremost. Okay? Because if you believe that, and you believe that it's not that bad, and that these things all went away, and that these evil ass people don't still exist, you are lying to yourself. And because you believe that, you will not stop to connect the dots, even when the shit is in your face. And what I mean by that is, do you remember, for those of you that have been with me a while, I had a panel. And you remember the panel where we were talking about, I don't even know what it was about, politics, but do you remember the white man that came up on my panel? And he said, we don't have a problem with you colored. Do you remember he called us that? And I wanted y'all to just listen to him talk so he could express to y'all how people really feel, okay, that are white people like him. And he said, that he was a Christian. He said that, they have a soft heart towards good black people. I said, well, what defines a good black person? He talked about how in his religion that it says that they are superior to us. Like, he explained all of that. But the one thing that he said that I think that y'all missed, and the video's still on my page. I took a clip of it and said, racist Trump supporter calls in and tells us how he feels or something. You can still go watch it. It's on my page, right? But one thing he said, do y'all remember when he came up on the panel and he said, we know exactly who you are? You remember that? He said he knew who I was. He said, we know who you are. Did he say Tariq Nasheed? He named a bunch of people, right, that are in the black community, 19 keys. He said he knew who we were. He said, because we watch y'all. And I said, well, why do you watch us? He said, well, because y'all be preaching that black nationalism. Y'all remember that? He said, and so they keep an eye on us because we are their opposition. Do y'all remember that? So see, they understand what time it is while we play in a fucking fairy tale facade that what it is not what it is. So they're watching their ops. You think you safe, so you don't watch your ops. We will cry and complain about racism all day online, but we are not very active in fighting against it. And I'm not talking about marching and protesting because that shit does not work. Understand me. Those are created chaoses that are given to you by your government to play on people's emotions, to be used as political gain and many other things, right? And so understand that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is what I'm getting ready to show you, that if we understood how things were, especially for y'all that live in Mississippi. Who live in Mississippi in here? How do you live in Mississippi? And you are so comfortable that you live in the place that I'm getting ready to talk about. I don't live there. And if you live there and don't know this and you're black, you should move because you are in danger, like immediate danger, because your ignorance puts you in a big risk in where you live. If you live in Mississippi and you don't know these things and you are not connecting the dots, it's because you don't believe that racism exists like it still does. Now, Stacey Turner is y'all chief medical examiner. She became your chief medical examiner in 2021. Molly, you in danger, girl. You is, Molly. You better get it together. Okay. So, how many of y'all, if y'all live there, do y'all know who Stacey is? Do you know why you should know who Stacey is? Because once she got on your radar, if you really understood that this is not a theory, this is not a theory. Somebody said all over, not just Mississippi. You are absolutely right that these things happen all over. But what I'm telling you is that in Mississippi and in Alabama, there is a even deeper root of this racism. There are more judges, police officers, sheriffs, coroners, medical examiners who belong to white supremacist groups who are willing to do you in. So what I'm saying is these things can be more prevalent than they are in other places. If you go to New York, is there racism? Absolutely. Is there corruption? Absolutely. But are you going to find a black person lynched in some kind of way every month in New York? No. But in Mississippi, you do. You first have to believe and understand that all of those people I just named to you, this is not a theatrical saying. This is not something I'm doing to move your emotions. This is not something to say because it sounds good or you want to say, I know that's right. I don't need can I get a witness moment in this motherfucker? But when I tell you that white supremacist groups exist, I don't care what they call themselves. It may not be the KKK no more. It might be the KKK. Whatever they call themselves, they exist. And they are your police officers, they are your judges, they are your coroners, your medical examiners, your politicians, and every damn thing. And this is why they get away with the stuff they get away with. Because they have somebody in their organization all the way up the chain. And y'all think that shit is not real. Like we say it because it sounds good, but it's a cliche. We say it so much. But we say they took off their hoods and they put on police uniforms and things of that nature. So it's become a cliche, meaning it don't really hold no meaning to you, but it should. It should. That's why you should tread lightly. And when you get your eyes on one of your ops, you should watch them. Now, Stacey Turner is your op. Okay, black people? She's your op. Stacey Turner, being the chief medical examiner in Mississippi, is the woman who has taken on Nolan's autopsy in the first place. So let's just start at the beginning and then we're going to go backwards down this rabbit hole and I'm going to connect some dots for y'all. So she is the medical examiner because of the case and all of the situations with it. She claims that he, drowned? This is it and that is all. And that is all that she has said that she can see. Okay? This is what she has come forward and has said. Now I want y'all to pay attention to this. Now, there's a video going around online today, and well, that I saw today, but it's only been the last couple of days that it could have been up, but I've seen it today. And so there are two girls, and they are talking about the fact that they have a friend that works in transportation of bodies, and that they told them they saw Nolan's body today as it was transported. Now, I don't know if this is true, but I am not on the end of not believing it. Of course, it's going to all come out once the examiner from the family and Crump that they have, all of it's going to come out eventually. But I don't know if this is true yet because I can't tell you if this is a reliable source. But what I will say is that I'm not going to completely dismiss that the idea is ridiculous. They said that his body, first and foremost, looked like it had been mutilated, had been beat up, so that shows signs of torture. It showed, and this was just from somebody looking at his body, somebody who hasn't even done an autopsy, they just saw it. They said, somebody said there's rumors. I want to say, you, your mom, and all of them take that word rumor and stick it up your ass. Because what I'm finna tell you is that whether it's rumors or not, like I could give you tons of stories where this shit has actually been fact. So if something has happened like this many other times, especially in this same location, why is the first thing we would think is that, oh, it's rumors? I don't know if it's rumors. Okay. It very well might not be rumors. We will all find out very soon. But it is said that the body, right, looked to even be burned. Now, I don't know if this is true or not, but it looked like the body was almost burned. Somebody said, whether it's rumor or not, it happens. It absolutely does. Now, it could be rumor, but we have stories that are facts, and we're going to go over some of those tonight. So I suggest that you listen and listen well, because these things have always been in our face, but we seem to ignore them because you got to get up and you got to go to work tomorrow until you become Nolan. So you should pay attention. If that is the case, what that will mean is that this woman looked at this body, because I don't believe the coroner would have done all of this to the body after the coroner and the medical examiner got the body, right? I don't think they would have done this. So if we find those actually are the conditions of the body, we know that this is how the body was given to the medical examiner. And why would you look at a body like that and say that you don't see any other cause, right? Now, you might think this is ridiculous, but let me introduce you to Stacey Turner a little bit more. Stacey Turner has been tied to several other cases in Mississippi that are suspicious. So, one of them that you guys may all know about is Trey Reed. How many of you remember Trey Reed? So, Trey Reed was the body that was found hanging, right? And she came and gave the public announcement that there was no suspicious activity or cause or anything of that nature. Like, let's just stop right there and talk about that for a moment, because we won't get into that today. But I want you to know there has been 26 people since January of this year that has been found hung that is black. And they all said that there was no suspicious activity, that they were all suicides. Now, that is not just in Mississippi, that is all over this country. So for the white people who are like, y'all just being racist, y'all just being ridiculous, y'all just always on some, shut the fuck up. Because no, if I can name to you 26 people, and I will, give me time, I'm gonna pull up all their pictures and show them to you. Because sometimes y'all act like you need to see it to believe it, and even then, your cognitive dissonance gonna set in. I'm talking to the white people, and you're gonna try and refute it and tell yourself it's not what it is. Let me tell y'all something. What I find it very crazy is that how often do you hear of non-black people actually going outside and hanging themselves from trees? So let's take a moment, because as we go down this rabbit hole, we're going to spend a little time on each level of it, okay? So let's just go to the Trey Reed. Instead of just saying that she was the one that said, "Oh, no suspicious activity," let's talk about the hanging of black people. Okay. So let's talk about this without race to it. Let's just talk about statistical numbers and people who actually unalive themselves and commit these type of crimes, right? No, well, not a crime, but they commit this type of thing, right? And it's not a crime, and it's actually something they've done to themselves, right? If you go look at statistics, nobody in the statistics of unaliving yourself chooses to go outside, find a park, find some public tree, find a piece of rope, and hang themselves from it. You will find 99.9% of all of those that they will call suicide and say that this actually was something they did to themselves is only when we find Black people that way. So follow me now and let all of this sink in, right? So when you look at the statistics across the board of how people unalive themselves, this is not really a way that people do that. But then you would think that after the history Black people have had about being lynched, all these Black people decide to do this to themselves and they decide to go to a tree outside and hang themselves. And you would really believe that shit? Although this country has a history of that being done to Black people by white people in the name of racism. But when it happens today, y'all want us to believe because we done come so far in the name of Martin Luther motherfucking sellout king. You really believe that that shit don't still happen? Oh, because we in 2026. White boys and Black girls, they sit in classrooms together. So you niggas think this shit don't go down. The fuck? Who, regardless of what race, says I wanna unalive myself. I'm gonna go find the biggest tree in the crowdedest park and I'm gonna go use it. Who the fuck does that? Nobody. Let me tell you another thing about statistics and when it comes to the mental mindset from somebody who has a degree in psychology and has studied these things. When a person is trying to take their life, they actually don't do it in a public place unless you're like jumping off of a bridge or something because people can't stop you. But at the end of the day, most of the time when a person is doing something of that nature, they do it in private because they don't want anybody to stop them. They don't go to a public place. They go to the garage and they turn on the car. They go to the bathroom and they lock the door and they do one of these. They go in their closet or in their garage or from their ceiling fan in their room and do what they try to tell you Black people go outside and do from trees all day long. The shit doesn't even make any sense. So now that we have addressed that, this same medical examiner, Stacy, said that Trey did this to himself. There was no foul play. We know that's a lie. His family knows that that's a lie. So why is Stacey Turner lying to us? Hmm? Why is she lying to us for this case? But that's not the only case. So there's a case of a boy named, but I'm gonna tell you about a case because they're talking about these cases online associated, but I'm gonna tell you about a case that they're not talking about. So her office, not directly her, did the autopsy, but there was a young boy named Channing Wilson and two little white boys was off playing with him in the water, acting like they want to be his friends. I told you stop trying to get your kids to be the Black friends to these white kids. They killed that boy. Okay. But we can't prove if there's any foul play. They said that he just drowned. But that coroner's office, according to the family, they embalmed that boy's body without allowing the family to have a real autopsy done, which means you just messed up everything that could say if his cause of death was anything than what you said. And that completely will cover up the evidence of any foul play. Now, this came out of her office that she has jurisdiction over. But let me tell y'all about a case that maybe y'all don't know that is connected to her. So there was a man named Damian Cameron. Okay. Now, I personally spent time with his family in Mississippi. We went to his grandmother's house. They walked us through everything that happened. They told us the story of all of this, and they gave us their perspective of what happened. So Damien is a young man that was at a white friend's house in Mississippi in Rankin County. Okay? Remember Rankin County because Rankin County will come up later in this conversation. So in Rankin County in Mississippi, there is something called the Goon Squad. And six of them have gone to prison for something they did. But the Goon Squad consists of many. And if there is anybody in here from Rankin County, they will tell you that the Goon Squad is many. Okay? It's many of them. So the six that went away, they're just terrorizing the community for their gang members that they sent to prison. So now the community was even more terrified. See, when they locked up the six officers that was the goon squad, that didn't make the community safer. It actually made them more unsafe because the sheriff is still the same sheriff. Nobody ever runs against him. So he's never contested. They want him to stay in the position he's in because he covers up a lot for his goon squad force. Shout out to you. Thank you for the $10 holla. Says this is the same medical examiner's office that autopsies Trey Reed. Colin Kaepernick never released his independent autopsy, his opportunity to prove negligence. So whose fault is that? I don't know if he ever did or if he didn't. At the end of the day, what I'm saying to you guys is we can play semantics if we want to, or you can understand that there is a reality in this country that we talk about in a way that we don't really live in reality. You live in the inner cities every day. You think that everything is all good and everything is not all good. We will say, yes, we know racism exists, but do you really realize there's racism where they will still come into your house and get you, that they will still come and drag you out your house and lynch you, that they will find you on the road and say, we're picking a person tonight and we're going to use them as our sacrifice. And they go around and hunt for you and actually pick you up, just like they used to do picnics back in the day. And the picnic would consist of picking a Negro and putting him up on a tree and then burning him, torturing him, and all of those other things in the midst of what they were doing. And, you know, making postcards and taking pictures and eating hors d'oeuvres and I don't know, fucking water. Like y'all think that that still doesn't happen. This is why when you're walking around in certain parts of Mississippi, and if you live there, I'm shocked that you do this shit. And then when you find yourself in somebody's truck, and then they drop you off in a wooded area and say, "Run, boy, run!" and they take your shoes from you, and then they play this little game of "Let's hunt down the Negro," and they make you run until they find you, and then they wound you and scare you so you can run again because it's a fucking sport from them. You think that shit's a movie. In real life, this happens to people in Mississippi. So you can keep playing this game and lying to yourself and want. I don't give a damn what Colin Kaepernick released or what he didn't release. What I'm telling you is that regardless of what any autopsy shows, and the Trey Reed, even an independent autopsy, it could have showed maybe he had blunt trauma or somebody beat on him. It could have proved that too. But even if it said he died from asphyxiation and hanging, it still wouldn't have proved who put him there because I don't believe he did. I just don't. Because that's not how people go out that choose that way to go out. And this is facts. Look up your statistics. Go ask any psychology professor if you go to college right now. Have them talk to you about the statistics. Shit, go to fuck your professor. Go to Chat GPT and ask them, and they'll tell you what I'm telling you. This is not a common way that people do this. But all of a sudden, Black people want to take themselves out left and right in the same manner that we've been being killed by the opposition for years and decades. Really? But let's not lose track, right? So we have the goon squad in Rankin County. So keep that in mind. So Damien, what the news will tell you is that he broke into the neighbor's house. They will tell you that they came looking for him in his grandmother's house for burglary. But if he was burglarizing somebody's house and he wasn't in there when they got there, how did they know that it was him? Because he was actually over at the house with a friend of his, a white boy. And his father did not like Damien, apparently. And while they were at the house earlier that day, roughhousing or whatever, I don't know, he put a little hole in the wall or something. You know, you'd be roughhousing and they fell into the wall. Well, the dad got home and was upset. So he went home, Damien went home to his grandmother's house. Okay, now he's not a kid, he's a grown up. Just so, because when I say they roughhousing, but he was just over there with the white boy. So the charges when they came to get Damien, even though they tell you guys in the newspaper that they were coming for him because burglary. No, actually, the charges were trespassing. So let's be clear about that. Thank you for that $10 holla. I appreciate that. the charges they were coming to get him for at his mother's house was trespassing because he really didn't burglarize that man's house. The man told him that he didn't want the boy over there, so they took it like the dad told him not to come over here. So the fact that he came anyway while the dad wasn't here is considered trespassing. So the police were not going to serve a warrant on him for burglary. They were going to serve a warrant on him for trespassing. That's like a ticket, ain't it? Is that even a warrant? It's a ticket. So they go to the grandmother's house. He's running from them, trying to hide. They catch him. He runs in the house. They chase him in the house behind him. They chase him into his grandmother's room where they tase him, tackle him on the floor, and then they handcuff him. They take him outside to the car. They kneel on him, on his neck, like George Floyd. They put him in the back seat of the car. And when they were kneeling on him while he was in the house, even, and he said he couldn't breathe and he was asking for water, they would not give him water. So the family is in the house. They think he's in the car. He's in the back of the police car dead. They did something to him outside and they put him in the back of the police car. And he was dead when they put him in the back of the police car. Now, they let him sit in the back of the police car. They came back into the house instead of getting him help, and they pretended to look for some items that fell off of their belt, like their mace or some shit like that, instead of getting him help. And then they acted like they went back to the car 20, 30 minutes later and was like, oh my God, he's unresponsive. He was unresponsive before they put him in the car. Well, Stacy Turner, let's connect these dots. She actually stated in this man's autopsy, she did the autopsy herself. Because remember, she's the chief medical examiner. She's not necessarily the coroner. She doesn't always do everybody's autopsies, but this autopsy she did, okay? She says that Damien, his cause of death was unknown. This is what she says in her paperwork. She's really good at saying no foul play, unknown, and things of that nature, right? In all of these cases that we're talking about now. Now, after that happened, right? Because when the medical examiner for the state looks at him and says, well, his cause of death is unknown. We don't know what caused this, right? What you're not doing is giving his death the title of homicide, right? It can be a justifiable homicide, but if you say it's a homicide, that just simply means he was unalived by somebody else's hands. But when she writes that on a piece of paper as the medical examiner, that means internal services has to come in now and they have to do an investigation on the two officers that were at the scene. That's what that means. Yes, and the officers did not have their body cameras on. I'm glad that you asked that. No, they did not. They claimed they were not working at the time. So the fact that she ruled it as undetermined, these officers did not get investigated. It was wiped away as though it had nothing to do with them. And that was so that they could save them from the investigation. This is why she did. Now, the crazy part is there were three independent autopsies done by three different other individuals that were medical examiners. All three of those independent examinations stated that there was a cause of death, right? There was a cause of death, and his cause of death was asphyxiation by them standing on, leaning on his neck that whole time, and that his cause of death should actually be ruled homicide. Now, three of them said this. So that means it was so obvious that there was foul play involved and that he didn't die from undetermined means. But this heifer stood up Stacy and said she stood on her findings. Although everybody, not one, not two, but three that looked at this independently, and all of them, they was not black other examiners. They were not black people. And they all said, no, there is conclusive reasons why this man died. Now y'all follow me a little bit, right? So after this happens, and these two officers going about their business to do the stuff that they normally do in the community, it was about a year later, Michael and Eddie Parker in Rankin County, they actually were tortured sodomized, tased, made to bathe together, and then Michael had a revolver put in his mouth, and they pulled the trigger. But he survived. Now, the goon squad did this to Michael and Eddie. They are officers. They were off of work and they text each other because all this came up in court documentations. They text each other and they say, let's go get one tonight, which tells me that in Rankin County with the goon squad and these organizations that are white supremacist organizations that they belong to, this is what I'm telling you. This is the evidence. They do get together and say, today is the day. Let's go get somebody. In the name of our white supremacy, let's go get somebody tonight. This is what they said to each other about Michael and Eddie. Now, they didn't know Michael was going to be at Eddie's house because Michael was just spending the night. Eddie lived there. But they were off duty. They had no warrant. They had no nothing. And they text each other and said, if there is something, some cameras or something in the front, we'll go around to the back. So this was not on duty. This was not fake warrants. This was we off duty and we finna go get some Negroes and we finna do some foul stuff to them. Now, if you go to Rankin County and you speak to the Black people there, they will tell you that the goon squad terrorizes the whole community, that they have killed many of people, that they have also, what they will do is they will get you and they will beat you so bad you will spend days in the hospital and they will rob you, but they won't arrest you for anything. And what you gonna do or what you gonna say? Because they'll come back and get you again. When we were there talking to Michael, his daddy had one of his friends on the phone. He said, I'll never forget the day that this man called me. He said, yo, they got me and they beat me up bad. And he a grown ass man and he cried and cried because of how bad they beat him. There was a town hall meeting and the fucking place was packed about all the people in Rankin County who have a problem with the goon squad. Now, those 6 officers that went into Eddie's house and did what they did to Michael and Eddie, one of those officers was the same officer that sat on the neck of Damian Cameron, and Stacy Turner, the medical examiner, said there was no cause of death. It was inconclusive. So now we can play dumb if we want to play dumb, or we can talk about this in some real ways, right? As a medical examiner, if you look at somebody's body and you see that there is foul play, what would be the only reason for you to say there is not foul play? Either you owe somebody a favor, bitch, or either you are working with this racist ass organization. It's already been proven that the Rankin County Goon Squad, they done sent in a department to go investigate everybody, but you notice that it's gotten quiet too. Nobody else has been arrested. The sheriff hasn't been taken out of his spot. The sheriff there in Rankin County, he has been the sheriff for forever. And whenever there is an election, nobody runs against him. So he just keeps his seat. He doesn't even have to fight for it. So I want you to know that Stacy Turner, the medical examiner that claims that Nolan just drowned and that there's no other foul play to him, also said the same motherfucking thing about Trey Reed. She also allowed an officer to get away with what they did to Damian Cameron and then turned around, and that same officer eventually went into other people's houses on some straight up, we belong to a white supremacist organization and we finna go out there and do some damage to Black folks ass shit. And she covered for them. So why did she cover for them? So if you live in Mississippi, and even if you don't live in Mississippi, what I'm saying is just like that white man that came on my live and he was like, Mechee, we watch all of y'all because of who y'all is. Why don't we ever watch the people that are doing the stuff that they do to us? Like if we really paid attention or gave a damn and all this racism, we want to keep screaming. Everybody was like, Trey Reed, you know what I'm saying? He didn't hang himself, but nobody bothered to look at who is the examiner who turned around and said there was no foul play. Because I think a lot of y'all believe that the coroner or the medical examiner is absolutely not going to lie and be corrupt. Like, why, when we talk about the corruption in systems and we talk about police officers, we talk about their lieutenants, they sergeants, chiefs, and things of that nature, what makes you think that all the way down the line that these motherfuckers is not corrupt? Why do we always stop at just the police? Why don't y'all think that this extends to judges? Y'all don't remember the judge that was selling kids? Y'all don't remember him? And let me ask my moderators a question. Why did you time somebody else out, but you keep letting this stupid ass YouTubian person keep running their mouth? Like you just keep allowing them to enter to be rude to the chat. People are asking y'all to block him. You're not bothering me. You're not bothering me. You just want some attention. That's all it is. You just want some attention. It's probably got his masterpiece under a fake account or something. It's one of them people who I left their life and I don't fuck with them no more and they just want to come over here. I know you just want some attention from me. It's okay. You want some attention? Hmm. That's all it is. Just usually go keep saying stuff, keep saying stuff, keep saying stuff. Y'all be coming over here dying to like get seen and get some type of a response. You know what time it is? I don't know. It's 11:05. Don't you gotta go to bed or something? You got a job in the morning? That's your job to come on here and talk all that shit to me. I appreciate that you put this much energy into trying to get my attention. It reminds me of my kids. They'll call me a lot, mama, mama, mom, mom, and I hear they ass, but I'm not paying you no motherfucking attention. What do you want? What do you want? Somebody said Mechee is white, y'all. Okay, we seen your post. Everybody see YouTube and wants y'all to know that I'm white. What else do you want us to know? You got the spotlight now, so what else you want us to know? Hmm? Oh, now they blocked you. I just wanted to know that I was giving you your 5 minutes of fame. That's what y'all niggas be wanting. 5 minutes of fame. I was gonna let you have it. Go ahead. But you blocked now. You blocked now. And the next time somebody do something, when you hide them for 86,000 seconds. And if y'all don't know what that is, I think that's like 3 days. Okay, bitch. And then I'm probably gonna leave and I'll be back for 3 days. So by the next time I come back, you'll be ready to come back too. See how that works? You can leave now and come back when I come back, bitch. That's just y'all is funny to me. Y'all funny to me. So again, I don't give a fuck. You a white lady. I'll be a white lady today. I got on the kind of like I might be a Mexican or a Puerto Rican here today. You can call me Michelle. I don't give a fuck. I could be white, I could be black, whatever y'all want me to be. But know that the shit I'm telling you is a fact, no matter where the fuck it's coming from. So I hope that you are paying attention. Oh, YouTube in one, you can't come back for 86,000 seconds. So while you was in there doing all that talking, you might want to go to your phone calculator and calculate that shit. I think it's 3 days. I think. Okay, calculate it and then come back and tell us, oh, you can't say nothing. I forgot for 86,000 seconds. Come back in 3 days and tell us what it was, okay? This ain't nothing but a distraction. Y'all know it's part of the show. We got to find one fool that want my attention. They like, Nietzsche gonna argue with at least one person for the show over. Please, God, let it be me. So I gotta bless a motherfucker with the cuss out. I think y'all niggas live for that shit. Y'all must be me. And y'all be getting off to it like, please, just cuss me out, Nietzsche. Get your retarded asses the fuck out of here. Y'all be fiending for that shit. Please, pay me some attention. My mama didn't love me when I was a kid, and you kind of look like her. I got time for you mentally ill motherfuckers, okay? Now, back to the topic at hand. Y'all do me a favor. Like the video, share this video, subscribe if you have not, hit the notification bell, all right? I want to say this though, like on some real shit, y'all. Stacey Turner is connected to all of this stuff. And so I want to go back to what I was saying to y'all the other day about this. Um, like on some real shit, like not just trying to be ridiculous or nothing. Like y'all gotta stop thinking that white people is safe. And somebody's gonna say, well, you can't say that about all white people. You can't say that, you can't say whatever you want to say about all black people. All I'm saying is that People are people. You're going to have people who are going to not like you, or going to want to fight with you, or who are going to hate on you, or who are going to be crazy. But when you deal with people who are white, you have a higher chance as a black person in running into not only a lot of other things that people can hate you about. People could be mad at you about a lot of stuff, dislike you for a lot of reasons. But I want you to know that you add racism to that list when you are hanging out with a lot of white people. And I also want y'all to know, stop getting it twisted. Stop thinking just because somebody is nice to you, or your kids play with somebody else's kids, or because somebody seems like they're a nice person, that they're not racist. Y'all fall for that bullshit all the time. How many white people will tell you, oh, I'm not racist, I have black friends? Nolan is the black friend, and look at where Nolan is now. I don't know the other boy's name. It was a black boy from Ohio, went to Michigan with some white boys. His other black friend said, we don't want to go to that little techno concert. He went with them. They found that boy later, and he hanging from a tree with his rental car, but his phone not with him, or his Apple Watch. And later, them same friends tried to use his Apple Watch and everything to purchase stuff. But he did it to himself. Stop dying. And black people, stop. I know black people like this. Stop dying to be around white people. Some of y'all so wanting to run away from your blackness, you feel like if you get around the white people, somehow that make you better. There's always that black person that thinks I'm better than all the black people. I hang out with white folks. We wear sweaters over our shoulders and tie those bitches. We play golf. You know what I'm saying? We eat tea and crumpets. Bitch, you ain't no better than no motherfucking body. You ain't nothing but the laughing stock of the goddamn crowd. You're their token Negro. Look, look, y'all, here come another one. But you're white. What? I am half white and I'm half black too. What's your point? We live in America. So half black and half anything else makes a nigga. So what is you talking about? Who running from that half white? Not me. Y'all say that shit as though somebody is supposed to be upset. You say that shit as though what the fuck I just said ain't true. Matter of fact, if you want to know about white people, you probably should listen to the half white bitch motherfucker. I don't know. I don't know, bitch. So you might want to listen to my half white ass on this motherfucking topic, bitch. Cause see, my black ass mama was with a white ass daddy. And even though what that white ass daddy sat in the motherfucking Detroit, Michigan hood, he always thought that he was still better than the black people around him somehow just because he was white. But you just as poor as everybody around us. That same white man that dated nothing but black women and had children with black women was the first motherfucker to call us niggas as soon as black people made him mad. So let my white half tell your black ass something you might don't know. While black men keep running around here trying to stick their private parts in a goddamn white woman thinking you've made it, making a biracial baby, claiming to yourself, oh, ain't no racism in this world. We can erase it. And your child come out and they just a nigga like everybody else. And as soon as you choose the right words to push the right buttons, and that white person that done made a baby with you act like they give a fuck about you, they racism will begin to come out. You do know the slave master used to sleep with all kind of black women, get them pregnant, and still had great disdain and hate for them. So I don't know why y'all think that white people can't act like your friend, lay down and make kids with you, act like they not racist and be racist as fuck. Why do y'all think that that's the truth? I can't stand them white people who got biracial people in their family, and the first thing they say is, we got black people in our family. Why you call them black? I just want to know that. Like, as a white person, when you have biracial people in your family, let me show you how deep the conditioning goes in this country of how they use race as a social construct and be having everybody fucked up. Because if you are a white person and you have a biracial family member, why is it that you look at them and say they're black? Why is it that you don't ever look at them and see the whiteness that comes from you that's in them and see them as one of you? Why don't you call them white? I just want to know, because y'all will say y'all not racist, but at the end of the day, that's one of them microaggressions that white people act like they not racist, but until you really realize what's coming out your mouth. Because when I get around black people recognize the black side to me. And they be like, oh, she one of us. But when we get around you white motherfuckers, you never acknowledge the white enough and say we one of y'all. You say we have black people in our family. No, bitch, you got a biracial. When we with y'all, we white. Why you don't ever see you and us? Why do you only see a nigga when we come around? But you're not racist. No, you racist. You just don't realize you racist because the shit is so deeply embedded in you from the conditioning of this society that you tell yourself you're not being racist. But your little biracial niece, when she's around you, Samantha, bitch, she ought to be white in your eyes. She should. If you don't see the white in her and you just keep calling her black, you're just helping perpetuate the stereotypes and the racism and the social constructs that says if you have anything with black mixed in it, the black is so derogatory, it's so damn dirty that if it's mixed in your motherfucking body, you will be seen as nothing else but that. So I'm glad you stupid ass motherfuckers want to come in here and bro kept talking about, but you a white woman. You done got real quiet real quick. You act like that's a conversation somebody runs from, bitch. That's very prevalent to the conversation that we're having. I don't run from the fact that I'm half white. You know who runs from that shit? All the white people. Somebody said you are the seed of your father. It does not matter how you look. And I would say you a dumb bitch. That's a student of them stupid ass religions that was given to you by that cracker ass man that you trying to recite in my motherfucking comment section, bitch. I don't buy your religion, so I don't give a fuck what you talking about. You want to talk about something that has nothing to do with your motherfucking religion? That's some made up, believe hocus pocus shit, bitch. Let's talk about facts. Let's talk about science, and let's talk about shit that's motherfucking true. Let's talk about history, bitch. In the United States of America, they have always told the biracial that you are black. So I don't give a fuck what your motherfucking Bible is talking about, bitch. And you should know that psychologically, physiologically, in the way that people grow up and they are raised up, there's a significant role that a mother plays and a father plays. And I am a girl. I have a black mother. So I was raised by a black woman to see a black woman, to be a black woman. She taught me black culture. She taught me black food. She taught me black hair. She taught me everything else because I am a girl. So you would know that in the way people are nurtured, girls look to their mothers to how to be a woman. So everything that's been embedded in me has been my mother's culture. But now go get you a biracial that got a white mama because mothers are responsible for culture in their household. They're the ones that pick the kids' dress. They get them ready. They celebrate the holidays. They prepare the meals and the food. They are the ones that's so involved with that. So when you find a biracial with a white mama, they probably a little bit more white acting. Okay? They probably don't know how to do their hair. They probably haven't had a pot of collard greens in their life if it's not for the black grandmother in their family. Don't let them break up with the black daddy and then just raise that kid in nothing but an all fucking white household. Those biracials is confused as fuck because they go out in the world and everybody looks at them as a nigga and then they think they're white though. And then they get their surprise wake up call one day. Bitch, you a nigga. So your little scriptures, you can miss me with that bullshit, bitch. I don't want to hear your Esau shit. I don't want to hear your motherfucking what is you niggas called? What y'all call yourselves again? Hebrew Israelites? You can kiss my ass. Y'all niggas march around with bitch ass fringes on. You cannot talk to me about my motherfucking heritage and who I am and the fact that I'm half black and half white, because you niggas is so delusional. See, I know who I am, but you niggas is so delusional about who you are that you can't even stand and just being a black man. You niggas have to dress up like show enough. You have to dress up like the black cast of 300. Okay? You niggas is marching around in delusionalness with headbands on, purple fringes, on corners making white people kiss your boots and shit. Like something wrong with y'all. You do know the way that you dress as a Hebrew Israelite bitches, how they dressed it before Christ over 200 BC or whatever the fuck it is. Can you dress like a Hebrew Israelite in 2026? Bitch, take off the show enough outfit. You motherfuckers play dress up and you talking to me about my identity, bitch, like I'm like you not the one confused. I'm confused as to why you don't think you not the one confused. You niggas are so traumatized by slavery, you niggas have to play pretend. You niggas dress up every day like a little girl in her mama's closet, putting on heels and fucking dresses. You niggas get dressed up and play make believe. Fuck you, Hebrew Israelites, and go tell your master, your mama, your daddy, your chaplain, your church, or whoever the fuck it was that Mechee X said it. I don't give no fuck how you feel. Y'all some delusional, stupid ass motherfuckers too. We can have that conversation another day. Cause y'all just as bad as the Christian religion. You just as bad as everybody motherfucking out here. All these fake ass organizations. Y'all niggas march around corners 300 deep, but you niggas ain't gonna bust a motherfucking grape. Y'all bitches. Tell me where you're not. I'm so sick of the fucking Nation of Islam. I'm so fucking sick of the Hebrew Israelites. I'm sick of any motherfucking group of a bunch of goddamn men, black men, who don't do shit but march around neighborhoods like it's the wall of Jericho and bitch, you think if you blow a trumpet, it's gonna come down. I need you niggas to pull up your pants, cut off them fringes, bitch, and take some lives, lose some lives, and find some justice for your people. Cause that dumb shit you doing is not called leadership. Y'all a bunch of bitches in my eyes. And the Nation of Islam, if you niggas don't stop selling bean pies and fucking get the butts of somebody's ass around this bitch, I'ma need you to sit the fuck down too. All these men and organizations trying to show strength and power, and you bitches ain't fucking show strength or power in shit. So, bitch, stay out my motherfucking chat. Go learn how to fight. Find your motherfucking balls and take off that fucking make believe costume, bitch. Then you can come back and talk to this white woman. Now, y'all do me a favor. Like this video, share this video, subscribe if you have not, and hit that notification bell. And we're going to get into the end of this conversation, okay? Y'all got me fucked up. Do you know where y'all at? You ever seen that movie Wrong Turn? I don't think y'all supposed to be here. I think you accidentally find yourself in the wrong line, bitch. Not the one, or the two, or the three. Okay? Pisces gang. Gang gang. Mixed with a little Detroit West Side. You got me fucked up, okay? Now, let's get back to what the fuck I was saying. We've had our cuss out for the show. Think it was a little humor in there somewhere. Now let's get back to what really fucking matters. Instead of these bitch ass niggas with fringes coming in here trying to convince me I'm an Esau. You gonna be my footstool. Well, bitch, come make me then. Or shut the fuck up in my chat. Okay? Now, with that being said, I just really want to say when it comes to this situation, I'm really just want y'all to understand that racism is alive and well. That shit ain't never gone nowhere. I want y'all to also look at Tracy Stacey Turner. Stacey Turner is a woman. Let me go look. I want to see how old she is. I'm about to show you something. Let's see this. Let's see. Mm, Let me see something. Oh, they say she does not disclose. Fuck out of here. Why she don't disclose her age or her birthday? She an old bitch. So let me say that. Stacey is at least in her 50s. Okay? She's in her 50s. So they're not telling me how old she is, but she's in her 50s. Go look at her picture. Go see Stacey. Stacey Turner is in her 50s, at least. Okay? So if she is in her 50s, I want you to tell me then which one of her family members do you think used to lynch black people? I just want to show you how far removed we are not from the shit we keep talking about like it was so damn long ago. Stacey Turner, if she's in her 50s, how old do you think her mother and her father is? How old do you think her grandparents are if they are still alive? Somebody says she's in her late 30s, aging in dog years. Okay. So again, they in their 80s. My grandmother in her 80s. Okay. My grandmother was alive when they were lynching people. So isn't it fair to say that Stacey Turner's grandfather, if not her father, was out there maybe together watching people be lynched? Where do you think that she got this idea at her age and what she does that it is okay to cover up crimes that happen to black people by the hands of white officers or white people because Nolan wasn't with officers and it's okay for her to cover that up. You don't see how easy it is to make that jump from, look at the era she came from. Why do we think we're so far removed from Jim Crow? I didn't gotta watch this shit. Is there anybody in my chat right now that's like, I lived when Jim Crow was going on, or my mama did? Is it anybody in the chat like that? Because I don't know about y'all, but I've had these conversations with my grandmother. She absolutely saw strange fruit hanging from trees. She's alive today. Somebody said me. My mom did. I just want to show y'all some shit in real time. My mama did. Yes. My mama did. Yes. So I want you, my auntie, my granny did. My father was born in 1908. My mother did. Shit, in 1919, wasn't it 1919 that they killed that man? They killed the man because they said that he orchestrated like some shit to kill a plantation owner. When his pregnant wife spoke up, they lynched her, hung her upside down, set her on fire, and cut her belly open and watched her baby fall out. That's a true story. Her name was what, like Mary Turner or something? That was in 1919. Okay. So what I'm saying to you is, I need y'all to really wrap your head around this shit. So how many generations do you really think that we are removed from the people who actually did Jim Crow? So why do you think that those lynchings and all of those things that we have talked about, why do you think that they don't still exist? What makes you think that they're not here? Of course, fucking Stacey Turner don't got no problem being a part of this. She's probably a part of the white supremacist organization. This is what I'm telling y'all. Like the chief of the goon squad, he like the grand poobah. All of them officers that's in the goon squad, they're a part of a racist organization. I'm not surprised to probably find out that Stacey Turner belongs to that organization as well. When you can have everybody from the medical examiner to the judges, see, this is what they do. And this is what pisses me off about us. They turn around and tell you that as black people, we are the most vicious, we are the most violent, we are the most this, we are the most that. But you don't even give these motherfuckers a real reason to say it. They walk around here and they still lynch, kill, and do all kind of crazy stuff to our people. But y'all won't bust a grape and do anything to anybody. Y'all have been taught to be docile and be kumbaya and forgivers, and the Lord said the meek shall inherit the earth. These motherfuckers is not playing. I don't want to hear about black empowerment from black people. I'm telling you, I don't. Because when we talk about black power, I want you to look at how white people enact their white supremacist power. I want you to watch it. Shout out to you for the 1, 2, 3, 4. I appreciate that on the spiritual level, whether you know it or not. Somebody said, Cleveland said your dad's family did, and we won't get off into another, spectacle. But I just want to say, no, absolutely, my dad didn't do anything to people. So if you're like Mechee, was your dad's dad lynching folks? Actually, I'm not that kind of white. And what I mean by that is that my father's father and mother came straight over here from Poland after all that shit had taken place. So no, my daddy actually is not from the colonizer kind. Okay, so yeah, I'm half Polish. Okay, so if you want to be more specific about the half white woman I am Polish. Okay, my last name is Cold Check, bitch. As in, if you keep talking shit in my chat, you're gonna get cold check, bitch. You see? I was named that for a reason. Um, but I want you to ask yourself, right? I want y'all to ask yourself. I want you to ask yourself, why is it that we don't ever take that same approach? I want you to understand what they have done. They said, okay, we have to live things in a certain manner so that things can be a certain way, right? And so what they did is that they are so committed to their cause of white supremacy that they have said, let's go be police officers. They go be police officers on purpose because they know that they can then use that badge to enact trauma against races of people that they do not like. The sheriff is in place because he is somebody that is in a high place in the white supremacist organization, and his job is to have the back of his officers. And whenever they do something that is out of line that they can't really avoid, that's where you go and call the coroner or you go call the motherfucking medical examiner so that they can cover up things for you. And if it gets past that point and you need some help, that's when you go call on the judge. And all those motherfuckers is in the same white supremacist ass organization that exists right now. But as Black people, we think Black power is marching and protesting. None of us is finna turn around and be like, let's go and observe our ops. None of y'all want to be the spook who sat at the door. None of y'all want to infiltrate nobody's organizations. Y'all don't go become police officers so that y'all can do the certain things. You don't become judges because guess what? You tell yourself, well, we're going to kumbaya the way. We're not evil like them. That's the problem. Shout out to you, Will. Thank you for the $15 holla. I appreciate that. Y'all want to be too nice. Y'all want to be police officers and then beat the shit out of y'all own people. What was that man's name in Memphis? It's so many. Y'all got to forgive me. What was the man in Memphis that the Black officers beat the mess out of him? Somebody know his name. Nichols, was that his name? It was something. But in Memphis, y'all remember in Memphis? And all those officers beat that man. Tyree Nichols. There we go. There's so many names. I can't remember them no more. I can't. Y'all know how we do. They name going to a sea of hashtags, and we have to kind of not forget them because there's 17 more added every goddamn month. So y'all get become police officers and y'all dumbasses, because you ain't never had no power in the history of power in the United States of America. Y'all get yourselves in a position of some type of power, and guess what y'all do? Y'all use it to beat the shit and unalive another Black person. Why you do it to a white person? Oh, let me guess, because we not racist. Y'all always want to be better than the evil person. If you don't fucking meet the devil with some fire, bitch, because that's the only language he understands. Where's your fire at? You get into political positions, and what do? Sell your own people out. Like white people get into positions of power so that they can keep enacting their white supremacy and keep making you feel oppressed and get away with treating Black people a certain way. And Black people get into positions of power to stand next to white people because they think it makes them better. They feel empowered. And when they get that power, they want to feel better because in your mind, psychologically, you don't ever think that you're better than the white man. So you say, at best, I can be better than the other niggas. So you take your power and you take your authority and you take your fucking cooning and you use it against your people because that's what makes you feel empowered. Because you're too scared to go up against the white man because in your mind you tell yourself there's no way that you can never top him. So the only way to feel powerful is to only come against your people. So I just don't understand. Like, again, for me, this is why I'm like, I'm done with this shit because at the end of the day, it doesn't seem to be able to put any goddamn sense into anybody's brain. We are not willing to fight in the way that we need to fight so that we can be free. Nobody wants to hear that. So I have stopped that rhetoric. If you would like to revisit it tonight in the name of let's have a throwback, like fucking strap up your boots and go to war. What the fuck are you waiting on? Like I said, we got men in the goddamn chat who march around in fringes, and y'all got 500 niggas that can march around a block, but the five of y'all can't just go take some shit over? 500 of y'all can't motherfucking go tear no shit down? Like, you might die. Absolutely. Absolutely. You might go to jail for the rest of your life. But so what? I mean, we dying and going to jail, and sometimes it's unjust. We're going to pay that price anyway. So my question is, why not make the price that you pay actually be for something? You'll march and you'll protest. I want to know where are the groups of Black people that are willing to go and make a stand and say, when you do what you do to ours, we're going to do what we do to one of yours. An eye for an eye. Y'all scared of eye for an eye, huh? And you're not going to tell me that people don't want to give up their lives or they're scared to die, because in our inner cities, we do it all day long. Y'all raising your kids to go out there and survive in the hood. Why don't you just teach them the reason that there's a hood is because of all the racist shit that goes on in its politics and how it is, and treat and teach them young people in the streets that if you really want to change anything, this is the wrong person to be fighting, and show them who their opposition truly is. I mean, apparently white supremacy got their kids killing niggas for them. Or did you not notice that either? White supremacy got white kids killing Black kids. So I don't know. Even the kids is in on the motherfucking shit. What is y'all talking about? Our kids out here killing other Black kids. They're killing somebody. Can they just can those kids that decide to be murderers make it count? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So understand that this shit runs deep. Understand if you live in Mississippi, and you should probably fucking move. I don't even know why the fuck you still live there. Why do you live in Mississippi if you Black? Get the fuck out. Everybody in Rankin County kept telling me, oh, yeah, we scared all the time. We never know what they'll come and do because they got long memories. I said, what that mean? That means they might not mess with me, but my son can have a son and they going to get my grandson. They never forget. They kids grow up, they raise their kids in the next group that come in for the goon squad to finish the job. This is what they said to me. So if you that terrified, get the fuck up out of Rankin County. Why are you here? I don't understand. I don't understand how you live in Mississippi, especially Alabama, or how you live in the United States of America, but especially in places like that. And y'all go to work every day and you so blind to what's going on, and you really think somebody gonna give you some fair justice and shit gonna be right. And I know y'all like Crump is gonna help this case. Maybe the coroner will find out that there's a bunch of stuff wrong with his body. Maybe people will help be accountable, and there will be some kids that go to jail. But this is how I look at it. Why the fuck do we always have to go to this extent to fight to get the answer? So every case we got to make it nationwide news. Every case we got to count on the ambulance chasers to bring attention to the story, like Crump or Lee Mary. Every motherfucking case we got to start a GoFundMe to give everybody money. But after it's all said and done, there is no justice that is going to transform into real change so that this shit will not happen to the next person. We never get that. Give a nigga a check. Niggas ain't never had nothing anyway. Give them a check. They'll forget about it. And that's what they do. And in the meantime, they put up a GoFundMe and the Black community funds their issues. And then they get a check because of Ben Crump. He takes a portion of it and he goes and drives his Lambos and his good life off the ambulance chasing. And these families don't get real justice, or they don't get their family member back. But more importantly, if you say that they're getting justice, that's not justice. See, when we talk about racist issues and things where racism is involved, real justice is not only to get that person to pay for what they've done, but to understand that the situation that has happened, these things don't happen again. If you get a check, but then next month the same shit happens to somebody else, bitch, that's not justice. You got a check. The person who did something to your child went to jail. But it doesn't stop all the other children that are getting ready to get fucked up, all of the black people that will be brutalized, all the other lies that the coroner will tell about people's goddamn bodies and murders, all the police that will get away with bullshit, all the judges that will unjustly sentence other kids that ain't your kid. Like the shit just never stops. So when do we stop fighting for an issue and fight the issue? When do we do that? I don't think that time has ever come. I really don't. People are going to spend the next couple of weeks. They're going to talk about what comes out in his autopsy. They're going to talk about the grand jury. They're going to talk about whether people are going to be indicted or not. They're going to talk about whether there'll be arrests, and all of those things will come out, and we will enjoy watching those videos, and they'll get lots of views, and YouTubers and people on social media will make lots of money off of this topic. And then after things die down, everybody will be mad. We will say, wow, the system is corrupt. You can find out that Stacey Turner did lie, and that boy's body was burned and had bruises, and they'll say to Stacey, why would you say you didn't understand the cause of death? You didn't even say this motherfucker was burnt and bruised, bitch. And she gonna look up and say, well, I stand by my findings. And they gonna call her out. All of that shit could happen and take place. And guess what? Nothing gonna change. And then it's gonna die down a little bit. And then what's going to happen is that in the midst of that, there will be another tragedy that will hit that you will turn your focus on. Because just like everybody was focused on what the hell is the boy's name? That stabbed the other boy. Carmelo. See, everybody was enthralled with Carmelo just a week ago, 2 weeks ago. Why y'all not talking about Carmelo no more? I thought we needed justice for Carmelo. So are we done talking about Carmelo? No? Because last I heard, but it's not really being publicized a lot, is that he needs $10,000 for the transcripts from the trial so that the appellate attorneys can actually look over them, and it costs $10,000 for that. Now, the attorneys will give their services pro bono, but they're not going to pay for the paperwork. So the family has to come up with $10,000. Are we not talking about Carmelo? Are we tired of Carmelo and have we dropped that now and we're on to the next thing? This is what we're doing. This is what we always do. So enjoy Nolan's story. Because in a couple of weeks, we will not be talking about Nolan anymore. And none of this fake outrage that you feel will even matter. And nothing will be changed. White supremacy will continue to infiltrate systems. They'll continue to murder our people. We'll continue to march and pray and fund GoFundMe's and want a motherfucking thing change. That's what I came to tell y'all. Want a motherfucking thing change. Yes, Nolan was probably murdered. Yes. White supremacy groups are covering that shit up. Yes. The chief examiner is a racist woman who granddaddy was probably lynching people. And she is tied to several cases where she has absolutely lied for white supremacist officers. It's been proven they're white supremacist officers. Nolan was absolutely probably murdered. Absolutely. And if all of this comes out, my question to you would be, now what? And I'm gonna leave y'all with that. Marinate on that line. I'm gonna go. Hopefully, I'll be back tomorrow so we can talk about some more things. But yeah, I'm gonna leave y'all with that. Like this video, share this video, subscribe if you have not. Thank you for all the super chats and the gifts. If you guys did do cash apps, I noticed somebody did last time. My phone is on do not disturb, so I don't see them. But if you sent one, I want to say thank you. But again, before I end this, I'm gonna leave you with this line. All of that shit y'all talking about going on, you find out it's all true. It's absolutely all true. It's all true. It's all true. Racism everywhere. Racism everywhere. Murder everywhere. Yep, yep, yep. That's what they did. Now what? Y'all have a good night.